favorite place to be. Dream on and go beneath. Life is not always so beautiful. Fairy tale, don't believe. Chance. Don't listen when they tell you not to dance. Fill your year, fill your life with the weight of the world. Take out the thing you can get and leave some beat for the rest. Don't fit in. Don't fit in. To be, dream on and go beneath. Life is not always so beautiful. Fairy tale, don't believe. To be, dream on and go beneath. Life is not always so beautiful. Fairy tale, don't believe. Come show me your favorite place to be. Dream on and go beneath. Life's not always so beautiful. Fairy tale, don't
Hello, amp nerds. Well, in this case also pedal nerds, because holy crap, I got some pedals on the table. Because the Victory V40 The Duchess, which I tried to dress like, and I don't know if you saw that, but my whole track that you just saw was color coordinated. That was all the white guitars I have. That's not true, I have a PRSSE. So anyway, the Duchess is the pedal amp. Le amplificateur pedales. No, that's pedal. Très bien. Because it has French writing on it for reasons I don't understand. The British and the French don't really get along. I mean, that's like millions of years ago, someone went in France like, oh, I shit on your head. And then the French were like, the British were like, no, you don't. And then, or was it Monty Python? I don't know. Well, Victory apparently likes the French and put French warnings on the amp so that our friends from France, our French friends, don't burn themselves. Very nice. Anyway, it is a pedal amp. It's supposed to be, we'll find out, super clean, warm, round, nice, and be the pedal vehicle. The amp clocks in, as of the filming of this video, just under €1,000, 900 and whatever, 79 or something. If you've seen the unboxing, it comes in a very, very nice carry case. You can carry it on top with the plastic handle. Comes through, so you don't pour your beer on there, it can get in. But this is very nice. We have 2 compartments here for cables, pedals, whatever. And as you can see in this camera, the reverb switcheroony with a big Victory plaque on it. They're like big plaques. Can also be stored in here. Has a really long cable that goes into the reverb on-off switch. Since this is a 1-channel amp, there's no more than that. Let me go through a couple of the features before we go through a billion sounds. Obviously, it's like a lunchbox-shaped amp. Weight is, I don't know, go to the website. It's not a super heavy amp. It has 40 watts, or 42 RMS. When you're in the high preheat, when you're in the high position, right here, 40 watts. And down here in low, we have 7. So you can scale the whole thing down. 7 watts will probably still be too loud for bedroom level, but hey. And in the middle, we got a standby, which they're not telling us. You just have to know that. I like the big-ass knobs. Phil X is a big knob fan. He puts huge knobs on his guitars. He actually got this guitar, exactly that one. And it's not like that... there's a lot of space for these 3 knobs, which are kind of in a weird configuration. He put knobs on there that are as big as the knobs on the Victory amp. And he just sent me a picture of that. That's weird. But that has something to do with Phil X being weird. So, by the way, is this all rolling? We're going to go with yes. So let me go through this. We have volume and a voice switch. The voice switch will not give you a drive channel. It'll go more between a classic American clean and a slightly differently voiced in the mids British clean. We'll find out. Treble, middle, bass. The middle can be kicked in more with a mid kick. Ta-da! And then you kicking the mids in, so it's a different mid shape. We have the reverb, which can be turned on and off. When the reverb is off, the reverb switch pedal will do nothing. If it's on, the reverb switch pedal will switch on and off the reverb. Now, if we look on the back, it's pretty cool. Now, there's an effects loop, in the master, which is the loud maker, which will push, if you're really pushing it, the EL34th that are in there, which it's kind of not your typical choice for a clean amp. 6L6s, more round, or 6V6s for the character that I don't know. Those are traditional clean tubes, maybe KD88s, KD77s, or KD Perrys. Yes, I will make that joke several times before it's not funny. Well, it's not funny anyway, but I will still make that joke several times. Okay. Stupid, where was I? EL34s. 2 of them. There's this switch back here in this hole where you can actually go and only operate one of the tubes for a Class A or a single-ended power amp. And since that's using that one tube only and wearing it out more, you can actually switch to the other one a couple days later and do, 3 days on tube 1, 3 days on tube 2, 3 days on tube 1, 3 days on tube 2, 3 days on tube 1, 3 days on tube 2. That is hypnotic. Say that. That's fun. So in the back here, there's a bypass switch that bypasses, follow me on this one, bypasses the reverb and the whole effects loop. So you have the most dry signal possible. Then there's a switch that will bypass only the effects loop. Okay? Which right now, I think it's engaged. I pushed it in. Yes. And if this is... Okay, so we're bypassing everything now, and right now, only the amp. On the table, I have some goodies. I have a Wampler Mini Ego Comp to see how it handles compression, and it's always nice for clean sounds to have compression. A Tumnus for the low gainy stuff. A Box of Rock for the Box of Rocky stuff, more the British Rocky. Box of Rocky. It's like you open a box and there's like Sylvester Stallone's in there. It's like a Box of Rocky. Not funny. And then Friedman for the modded kind of British thing. For some digital delays, I have a Nemesis in the effects loop. I have an El Capistan in the effects loop for tape delays, and a Flint, not necessarily for reverb, which the amp has, but for a nice vintagey kind of tremolo, because some of you said, show vintage sounds. I don't know what that is. I'll make it up as I go along. And then, of course, you guys say, well, can you also do some jazz stuff? Well, I cannot, because I don't know how. But I will fake my way through it with the... right there. The D'Angelico EX175. And here we go. So I'm going to turn this thing on. Of course, I'm going into the Torpedo Studio, which you can't see right now. So what I'm going to do for all the clean stuff, I'm actually going to go to a clean speaker. It will have a lot more brightness, a lot more high end. It'll sparkle more. So if you're primarily a clean guy, that speaker will do beautiful things for you. And that speaker is actually a Brit 65, whatever that means, a 410. And then actually a 2 notes 112, whatever that is. Maybe they just built their own speaker. So it's a 410 and a 112. Smaller speakers, but a lot of brightness. We're going to start with single coils. And my pick, if I can find it. This guitar, of course, is a absolutely beautiful Framus Idolmaker. Pro Series, clocks in at a bit over $2,000. It's a set neck. It's not a bolt-on painted, but it is Swamp Ash and Maple. And Seymour Duncan's, don't ask me which ones. And actually, on the ground, I gotta say this, I'm going through a TC Electronic Bonafide buffer because I wanted, with all the cabling I'm doing here, I just wanted a buffer. So right now, only the amp. Straight up. I can switch whatever I want here, doesn't matter because I have it bypassed in the back. Now something is brittling here. Can you hear that? Okay. It's not anything going into the amp. Effects loop is off. So the amp right now is there's some kind of interference there. Let me pull all the plugs. What is this? Well, of course I can play. Okay. Extremely weird. Well, too bad that what I do is, a review and not a demo. So, I got some news. While I'm fiddling in the other video with, the noise and stuff, here's what Victory said once I talked to them about it and wrote them a little email with the sound clip. They said, well, that's a preamp tube. That's clearly a preamp tube that's gone bad. So they usually test the amps for 2 hours, listening and, you know, stress test and burning in and all this stuff. But hey, that can happen. That can happen to anybody. Who knows if something got dislodged on, you know, transport. Preamp tube, no problem. Open that puppy in 3 minutes, bam, open it, put in preamp tubes, close it. If you got a problem like this, write Victory, they send you a new tube and you're good. So that's really no big deal. Another thing they also wrote, because I watched the whole video, the video that's still coming, you know, that the switch that says high, preheat and low, for me, it was pretty clear that it was high preheat and low. User interface wise, that's what you would think. And in the middle is standby, which you can't officially call standby anymore according to them because of reasons. So you have to call it preheat. I don't know. So what this actually is supposed to signify is high, a lot of watt, low, less watt, and in the middle is preheat. And that's what that high preheat low is supposed to be. User interface wise, not great. I was just at Thomann and saw other Victory amps that had a little arrow of the preheat in the middle, which is just, I mean, the fact that you even have to do this, I don't know. But they might do this on the V40 as well, so that's the mystery behind the missing standby label. It is there, it's just above it. And so all the problems that appear with that noise, forget about it, forget about it. It's a preamp tube, and I have to tip my hat to Victory. You guys are freaking awesome, because on my first call where I mentioned that problem, they were absolutely like, oh no, you gotta be honest and you gotta keep it in. They weren't even trying to convince me to cut that out of the video. Then they watched the whole video and they were completely okay with anything that the amp did that it wasn't supposed to do. And highest respect to a company that in no way would try to influence me when an amp does something like this to cut it out of the video. It's no big deal, it really isn't. So, yeah, love you guys. That, for me, whoa, I mean, I already, you know, appreciate you a lot, but this, whoa, wow. Thank you so much. Now back to me. We're gonna go with something's weird here with this amp and not Victory amps in general. Because if I'm on the high, it has a very, very strange sound that's happening. That comes in after a while. It is not the speaker cable. It is not the power. I just switched things around. I tried the Thomann speaker behind me, so it's not the Torpedo. I eliminated all the other things that it could be. It is the amp. I noticed it earlier too, on the 40 watt. So, I don't know, maybe one of the tubes is bad. I have no idea. But things can happen. It's completely impossible that this is representative of what Victory does because, well, people love the amp, they win awards. So, if I was you and I got this, I'd send it back and get one that doesn't do that. But it doesn't do that on the 7 watt, so we're gonna do this. Really, really amazing. Really beautiful, straightforward cleans. Let's see if I get in the reverb. Turn that on. It's not on because the switch isn't on. Now it's on. Let's see how far I can push this. Ah. Ah. Fizzles a tiny bit. So if we switch to voice 2, sounds with this speaker pretty horrible because that's a speaker meant for clean. Let me switch that. So if we wanted to fizzle, we need a speaker that rounds off the high end. Tiny bit of breakup on full blast key, but again I have single coils. So we want to try the cleans. And for that again I'm switching the speaker. So let's go into the EQ section. Very flexible treble there. See where they put the mids. Very subtle. Let's see what the mid kick does. I'd say that's around maybe 1 something, 1K, something like this. I like it. More subtle, but useful. Extremely nice. I'm going to engage the effects loop. Okay. What am I doing wrong? Ah, here. Let's start with some compression before. Oh, that's nice. It just, wow. Let's go into the voice 1. Fuck yeah! Nemesis delay by Source Audio, and it's pretty. What I dream of when I dream of beautiful cleans. Not that note, just the sound. What the? So a little bit more vintage. Strymon El Capistan. It doesn't get more cleanalicious than that. I could play this forever. So if we engage the Flint, we have a tremolo. With the built-in reverb. Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna go switch to the other speaker. Actually, no. Now I can use some drives like the Tumnus, for example. It likes le Tumnus. Well, I can tell you that it works really well with the Tumnus, it works really well with the effects loop, and what we want to do now is do a little bit of a clean jazzy thing, because I'm trying. A clean amp doesn't only have to be your pedal vehicle, it can also just be a clean amp. I mean, yeah, there are people who only play clean. What? Yeah, what? Yes. There are those people. So, for those people, I will try my best to emulate a guy that plays clean. First, let me try, really just try, okay? These Americana kind of little bit of intensity here, really lush reverb. We're gonna use the one from the amp. And, you know, those types of sounds. With the D'Angelico EX175. Question is, where does the drive come from? So let's see. Looks like I'm pushing the amp a little bit with the humbuckers. So let's turn the reverb back on. Let's just play the thing I always play. It's the only thing I really know how to play. A Joe Pass blues jazz. I'm distorting a bit. It might be the power amp. That guitar doesn't like compression. 12s. Ooh. Very nice. I mean, why not give it the box of rock? How does that work? Where's drive? Here. This is not really the box of rocky kind of guitar. I'd say it's a jazz amp. Beautiful. Round, warm, clean. Not, I mean, I was definitely pushing it too much in the 7-watt mode, so that is why it was driving a bit in the power amp. So if you want that headroom, make sure you're in the 40-watt mode and just don't make it very loud. So, now we have, it feels weird after having this huge guitar on my lap, having this little thing here. But this is, of course, the Hartung Embrace Vantage 57. Well, you know, just if you're looking for a Les Paul type guitar without actually buying a Les Paul, this is pretty much as good as you can possibly get. So let's see how that thing flies with humbuckers. Let's go into that mode, see if it fizzles. We have some drive here. It behaved beautifully with the single coils. Now it wants to be tamed. Oh wait. No, box of rock was on. Ha! Forget what I said. There it is! I'm like, it's not driving that much. Come the fuck on. Very nice. Some compression. It's gone. Weird. Tumnus really needs to be set up for the guitar. It's weird. I could play this forever. Let's Box of Rocket. Much better with this guitar. Yes, it takes pedals well, if you ask me. Holy crap. Something is weird when I'm turning on the El Capistan. There's a lot more brightness. What's happening here? Strange. Strange. A lot more brightness and something's happening there. Let me turn this down. It might have been the built-in reverb. Yeah. Kick in the mids. I'm gonna say works insanely well with pedals and is relatively quiet. I mean, right now it was the pedals, but still I have two drives behind each other and not a lot of noise there. I mean, the amp itself isn't noisy. And whatever sound that was that we had before is gone. Who knows what that was? Again, if you have that, should that occur, contact Victory. They're the nicest guys in the world, and they'll help you out. This is... Let me not make a mistake here. That was the amp driving. Okay. Let's try that. I couldn't make that happen with single coils, but hey, the humbuckers are pushing it. Nice, let's push that with the Tumnus. Extremely, extremely pleasing. Seriously. I like it a lot. So, last thing that we need to do, Friedman BE-OD. That's Screamtastic. Strange. Everything that I know about pedals kind of is different. Like the Tumnus behaves very strangely depending on what guitar and all this. Now the BE should be scream and more high end, and it really isn't. This thing kind of rounds it off up the wazoo. Dial it in a bit. I definitely wanted more treble and a little bit more fatness, but it's very easy once you know where you're going to get that. There you can really hear the voicing. Let's do this again. Endless fun. Well, can I scoop this puppy? This is not a metal amp, and I really wouldn't try to make it one, but... Well, actually, I am trying to make it one. Let's see. I tried a billion things. We had the single coils, we had the jazzy approach, we had the Les Paul type humbucker approach, we had low gain to high gain, we had compression, we had effects in the loop, the built-in effects. I really tried as much as possible to show you whatever you want to know about this amp. Too bad that something like that weird noise that was happening in the video, but shit happens. And you know what? A faulty component, which right now it's not doing it. So, no idea what that was, but it happened, and now it's gone. The amp's also brand new. Maybe something warmed up and we're all good now. Who knows? Should that happen, this is a classy ass company. Take it back to the dealer, get another one. If you're not comfortable with it, should that happen on an amp for $200 and you're like, yeah, okay, now it's gone, who cares? But hey, should it happen, you're like, no, I spent $1,000 on this and I want one that doesn't do that, take it back to the dealer. Take it back to the dealer. Call you guys from Victory. As we can see, now it's gone. Whatever the fuck that was, but that can happen on anything, okay? So I'm not going to hold that against Victory or the V40. Let's talk about my actual experience without the little snafu there. It is small, and that's what she said. Doesn't actually get way too hot. I love the color. I mean, I gotta say this. I love the color. Love the case. It is mind-blowing in how many directions you can push this when you see it as a pedal amp. By itself, it's a beautiful, clean amp that can crank a bit with the right guitar. With the single coils, I really couldn't get it there. We could see we could fizzle it a bit with the D'Angelico. With the Hartung, we could get a nice breakup out of it, a nice crunch that I could push with the Tumnus and push it over the cliff, as Nigel Tufnell says it. So, I was a little bit disappointed when I turned on the Friedman, because that wasn't what I expected from the Friedman and that amp. But then you twiddled with the Friedman a bit, you cranked up the treble, and there was rock and roll! Wow! And I thought it was a joke when I said, let's scoop the mids to get some metally stuff, and it did it. It did it extremely nice. Obviously, Victory has the Kraken and other amps that might do this better, but if you need a sound like this out of your pedal board and your Duchess, the metal Duchess, you could fake it for a little bit. It's just a great pedal platform. If you're a pedal guy and you just need your amp as your vehicle to make your pedal shine, this is it. Okay, obviously, if you're into more the vintagey kind of sounds, classy American, British, clean sounds, slightly overdriven sounds, it can give you this without any help. But if you're the pedal guy, what else do you want? Okay, you have to set up your pedals to work with it. You have to also set up your pedals to work with it and the speaker, as you've heard. It highly depends on the speaker you're using. But I can, with those features, absolutely 100% recommend the Duchess by Victory. What I haven't tried is the Class A setting in the back. I'm going to go with, it is a subtle thing that probably doesn't come through in a YouTube demo. That's something you feel more. We could hear that in the 7 watt, it was already breaking up earlier. So that's why I later switched to the 40 watt again, and then all of a sudden, the noise was gone. So yeah, it's not an inexpensive amp. All those Victory Lunchbox amps clock in at around $1,000. But pick your poison, pick the one that you like, and if you're into pedals, that's pretty much it. And I love the built-in reverb, which means I don't always have to get a pedal out. When I'm playing, sometimes I just like a beautiful clean sound, and that's it. And I like some reverb. So usually I have to get my Big Sky out, a power supply, and hook it up, and there's cabling involved. This, put it on a speaker, play, never even drive it, you're good. Beautiful. So this is gonna go on the amp rack, and we'll hear it as a pedal amp in a variety of videos behind the ampede switcher, and it's gonna be in the rotation of amps, and probably in my next few pedal demos just as the main amp, because I want that. It does a great job. Thanks, Victory. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.